the time, I was actually dancing solo. I had a partner named A Plus. Because back then, early '90s, it was basically either you're a solo dancer or you had like a partner. So
Mm.
basically, the gizmo was called Crack and Tic Tac before that, right? So like you had partners, right? And my partner was A plus. He stopped dancing. He didn't get into Bag of Tricks, so that was that. But basically, we were doing like doubles and whatnot. There was routines and everything. Things were mixing. There were people that break too. I'm not. I never. When people say Bag of Tricks was the first crew or the first crew, but there was people that were mixing stuff and breaking. That were just duos. Just did like do a full like freestyle set and drop a worm or a windmill or something. But it
Hmm.
wasn't like the stepping or anything foundational.
Right, right, right.
Oh yeah, and then to get back with that is like so I basically was East Side, and then I was with that other crew first. This guy named LJ, he was one of my influences. He's more like a '95, like he basically waves. He did a windmill step, but he didn't do a six steps.
Hmm.
And then I was trying to get down with that crew because also Frankie and Derek was down with LJ too, right? So like that was like the biggest crew before. So basically I wanted to get down with them, and then Tony from Bag of Tricks days. I saw him at a jam with Grouch, which is our DJ, and Gizmo and them were there. And when Tony saw me, he's like, "Yo, put this guy down with Bag of Tricks." And I actually said no at the beginning because I was still trying to get part of the other crew, right?
Mm.
And then so basically after a year went by, and then recruiting started happening with Bag of Tricks. So the original was Gizmo and Tic Tac and Flyer. There were the three on one side. On the other side was Benzo, Tony, Magic, and Queso, right? And those two factions, like Gizmo and them were Rexdale, and Benzo and them were Jane and Wilmer. And they battled at one of Grouch's events, and then they battled, but they became friends after because they're doing
Mm.
similar stuff, right?
Right.
So and this guy named Twice said, "Yo, you guys are like a bag of tricks," and that's how the name came out.
Oh
Because
man, that's pretty cool.
each guy in our crew is different. Like, and we always want to be different than each other, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's always one thing that really stood out. I guess that's kind of like what everyone sort of strives for in a way. But yeah, well, it was always really clear with you guys that everyone was really different. Everyone had their own way of approaching things and stuff.
yeah,
Um,
the thing was cool though. The more we danced with each other, we developed a style, but we still had our independence. Like, I mean, we had our own original style. But like, if you watch Mega Tricks, you'll see us top rock, and then we'll go into a freeze,
mm,
and then we'll go down to do some footwork, whatever. And but if you look at the whole thing, like Benzo will top rock and grab his foot to a flexible freeze. I will
mm,
top rock and go into like a capoeira freeze or something, right? It's like it goes together. You can tell we're part of the same crew, but
mm.
we do different styles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But that comes in time. Any crew will get there.
yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Um, and yeah, like I know Toronto, like everyone in breaking wants to be original and wants to be creative and stuff like that. But Toronto, like there was like a Toronto mentality, I guess, that it really emphasized that as much as possible, you don't want to look like anyone at all. Right?
Um,
I don't know. That's just the impression that I got. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
You
going
can,
forward, at the beginning, like first it was Bag of Tricks, and then
yeah.
Paranormal.
Uh-huh.
Paranormal became intricate later on because
Okay.
basically it was Bag of Tricks, then Paranormal, and then Supernats came along, and Paranormal and Supernats are a similar name, and
Mm-hmm.
Intricate was like, yo, these guys are like jockeying our name, and they basically changed Intricate, right? So that's the story on that one. And it's like yes, even though we say everyone wanted to be different, like Bag of Tricks had a certain style,
Mm-hmm.
and Intricate had like a more foundational style because they were really like when they went to New York, they're like we want to learn from Crazy Legs, we want to be
Mm-hmm.
like they had their own foundational style, and
Mm-hmm.
then Supernats they basically concentrated on threads. Basically.
Mm. Crazy. And like back then, those were sort of the main crews that were around,
I would say that's the first generation from the '90s.
right?
Then they started getting like these shoot off crews. There was a crew called Top Secret. I think Deadly Mike was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Third Degree. There was Boogie Rats. Um,
Right.
different groups, Fraggle Rock. I'm forgetting a bunch of them, but like that was the next generation because
Oh,
basically we
okay.
went on Rap City in '94, and then more people started to break. More crews started turning up.
Yeah. During that time, was Rhapsody a big part of, uh, like, I guess things like because
Um,
I've seen a lot of, not a lot, but a decent amount of footage of like Bag of Tricks being on
Yeah.
Rapcity,
So,
and like
so
your freeze is like infamous with me and my buddy
but that
Mark.
was the Rhapsody intro. Like we
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Rhapsody in 1994 because we were doing a show for free in Jane and Finch Mall.
yeah. Hmm.
And then we did that show, and then they saw it, and it was like, they were at the time. Rhapsody was young; it was more videos than anything else,
Hmm.
so they did the full content as well, and it was Canadian content. So of course they invited us on. We went
That's
on,
cool.
and we had a good segment, and from there, a lot of people, like whenever we travel to Canada, people say, "Oh my gosh, we started breaking because we saw Bag of Trix on Rap City." And
Yeah,
that's before the Rap City intro. The Rap City intro you're talking about is 1999 that happened,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but that stayed on Rap City for a long time. I think like around 10 years, it stayed on as the intro. So
Right, right. Yeah, I was trying to find like a clip of that intro specifically, but
I
I was
think I
kind of
have it
having.
on my Instagram. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try and link that for anyone because that to me, my buddy Mark, and a lot of people from our generation, like everyone knows that freeze. We all saw it. We all tried to do it. So for a lot of us, like yeah, it's like it's really cool to connect with you now because like you're the guy that was like, oh, that's the freeze. That's the guy that does the freeze.
the whole thing about that freeze, too, it's a basic freeze, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
freeze. But the way I thought about it was, I want to show people what I'm doing. So I would tap my foot at different times and then hit the freeze like really hard, right? So
yeah, yeah. There's like, I really hope, yeah, I can get some footage in here of it, or for anyone who's just listening, like they can go to his Instagram page
like
and search for it. But yeah, it's like one of the cleanest. It's yeah, like you said, it's just a basic freeze, but it's like the way that you do it and how you get into it and everything. Yeah,
that's the thing is like when you're talking about back in the day too, it was like Bag of Tricks we had our style, and Intricate had their foundation, and Supernats had power, and they had the threads.
hmm,
But the thing is, we had threads too. We just don't say we're Bag of Tricks. We're not Bag of Threads. We do everything. We do
yeah,
we have concepts and whatnot, right? So
yeah.